All right, welcome to another episode at On the Capo Stand. I am your host, David, and once again, technology betrayed us, so our apologies for that little hiccup there. I am joined, as every Monday night, by two incredible individuals that elevate me to a place where great podcasting is created, and that's our good friend John. John, how you doing?
Good, David. How are you?
Fantastic. And the man, the best thing coming out of Egypt since the pyramids, our good friend Ahmed Salim. What's happening, my brother?
Happy Monday, gents.
All
Happy
right,
Monday.
my brother. Good. We obviously had a great week. We promised ourselves that we were going to celebrate this Monday, and the boys of the 407 delivered. So, welcome to anybody that is new, that is watching us live, anybody that is going to be listening to this later or watch it later. We are live on Twitch at On the Capo Stand, on X or Twitter at On the Capo Stand, on YouTube at Davis Channel 76, on Instagram at On the Capo Stand, and on Facebook at On the Capo Stand Podcast. Thank you very much for everybody that is giving us a chance. Thank you very much. Let's start with the obvious. As you can see here, I got the 2020 324 Maccabi Haifa home jersey. Look at that. Look at that. My God. If it wasn't for cargo shorts and soccer jerseys, listen, I'm just gorgeous. Gorgeous. My wife can keep her hands off of me when I go out like that. So if I'm sure. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. So great. Right now, the obviously for obvious reasons, the Israeli league is suspended. I just wanna. I know a few friends that are Orlando City fans, Maccabi Haifa fans. Some of them in Israel. I pray that everything is great with you, and as I don't have to hide it, you guys know where my passions and my loyalty is. So we're wishing nothing but positivity. Shalom, shalom, peace, peace to every single one in the world.
Absolutely.
So, with that said, my friends, let's go ahead and dig in. Obviously, we have a lot of stuff to talk about. One of them is our boy Duncan McGuire has been called up to the Olympic team. Guys, what you have to say about that? Because obviously, a lot of people say, "Oh, I saw that coming." I didn't, and you guys know that I'm on top of things. I think Duncan well deserved. I believe the Olympics are going to be in Paris, and this kid may catch on fire if he can score goals. How we saw this past Wednesday and Saturday. Let's start with you, Ahmed, and then go ahead, John.
Honestly, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised, and it speaks a lot to the quality of the talent that the team's pulling in. I'm happy for him. I'm excited for him, and I think this is just the beginning. Honestly,
Great,
yeah.
John.
Yeah, I mean, well deserved. He's been performing for the club like, very few players have in the league, period, coming out of college their first year. This is a chance for him to prove, the next step, if you will, in his career to prove himself that he can play with the big boys on an international level. And, him doing this doesn't necessarily mean he's in the Olympic team, but it's definitely a way for him to prove himself and make the Olympics. I know coming from being born in the Midwest that's like a pipe dream is to do something like that, and he would it'd be probably beyond anything he ever imagined that he would do. Um, Go ahead and read that.
Go ahead, Ahmed.
First comment of the night, Jim D. How are you, Jim? On the beard stand.
Hey, listen, I take it, brother. This is a flavor saver. I already told you guys. So,
But
you
yeah,
know.
back to Duncan. I mean, sorry.
All right. Sorry. Go ahead, John. Come on now. Go,
Uh,
go.
um, you know, if he performs well, he makes the Olympic team, and then we probably say bye to him next winter. And if he does extremely well during this next international break, there's a chance we could be saying goodbye to him this winter. I'd
Yeah.
hate to see it. That means we probably lose him and Torres in the same transfer window, which would be exceptionally tough to replace.
No, absolutely.
But
So I agree. And
yeah,
there's a lot of teams in Europe that can use a prolific goal scorer like him.
Mhm.
And I know to a lot of Euro snobs, if it's not first division, they don't want to hear about it. But championship in League One in England. I mean, this kid. I know a team in League One that can use a prolific goal scorer like him. I
Yeah.
have said it many times. If you're playing games, go ahead, get your shots ready. Stevenage, my club, Stevenage needs a prolific goal scorer. So, with that said, friends, we move on to one thing that I am super excited about is the fact that we have qualified for CONCACAF Champions. Big
Yes.
round of applause to the boys, to Oscar Pareja, to Luis Musi, Ricardo Moreira, and our ownership, the Will family. This is an incredible achievement. We're getting there without winning any silverware yet. So to me, it's a moment for vindication, and I gotta tell you why. I felt that last year we were done by an archaic rule. Uh, Tigres did not get the best out of us. Both teams scored the same amount of goals, and for us to be out but luck of the draw, they happened to play at their place first, and then our second. It's an injustice. The penalty should have decided that game, and I feel that Orlando City has a lot to prove. Um, Guys, we're going international one more time. Expectations, things that may go differently, in your opinion. I mean, it was first last, so go ahead, John. You go first.
If the core group of guys, if our 11 starters stay together, we somehow keep Torres through the winter, which will be tough. But if we do keep him through next year, I mean, this team has a chance to go far, especially since it seems like Pereira's figured out how to be a little more offensive at times. And I mean, these guys put up 3 goals in the first half and was threatening all night. The whole first half. We'll get to the match later. So he's figured something out kind of starting in May, and they've kind of taken off since then. And I think you know it's as far as they're willing to go, basically, as the team's willing to go, and there's no reason why the way this team's playing now, if they would have even been playing a fraction of it as well back against Tigres, we probably still draw them in Mexico and then come back here and win 2-3-1.
Amen.
I'm not as optimistic. I'll be the Debbie Downer today. For me, the thing about it is, if we were to keep the whole team as a whole, I feel like it's early in the season. If everything is the same as it was, I would like to think that things would be different, a different outcome. But I feel like we need that time to gel. We took too long to gel this year. And I feel like over the off season, if you want to call it that, if whatever changes may happen, because I know we're all expecting changes, for us to get anywhere further, we need to get off to a strong start day one, right? Because I feel like that's what really bit us. It came back to bite us, right? It's just we did not come out of the gate, like I always say, like every game is a playoff, because every tournaments, that's what it is, right? It's do or die. And in that
Absolutely.
case, we shot ourselves in the foot because of a technicality, right? And it's just like bad calls, VARs, all that stuff. You can't leave that stuff up to chance, and we did. I would like to think that we'll do better this season. I mean, this coming season in the Champions League, but I'm not super hopeful yet. Sorry.
No, I hear you. In the meantime, let's celebrate.
Yes.
And there we go. There we go. There we go. So we're going international, baby.
Yeah.
And this gentleman have said has a lot of validity. I have to say that just like we said, the negative about Oscar, we had to say the positive. The man has turned the 4-2-3-1, which is your starter pack as a manager. It's the most basic, most traditional of formations, and he has made it lethal. And I have to tell you that the goals that we scored this past week were nothing short of impressive. and we're heading out. And mind you, that we sold Erchan Kara, so we depleted, quote unquote, our striker core, and it seems like it didn't matter. So obviously, the decision to let him go was the correct one, in my opinion. Um, Oscar Pareja at the moment has not resigned with Orlando City. There's no talks about resigning him. Um, there's, uh, in my opinion, he's making a good case to stay. He has to prove to us that things have changed, and going to a first round and getting bounced is not the way to go, especially now because we are playing best two out of three. So it's not like, oh, we had a bad day, we're out of it. You're gonna have to lose twice in order to bounce off. So it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be an interesting off season. A lot of things people told us that were set in stone, and they sort of have been set upside down. So definitely, it's gonna be an interesting set of events, guys. Before we go into the games that we play this week, because obviously it's an Orlando City, uh, uh, it's an Orlando City show. Obviously, there's gonna be there's awards that have been posted. John has the list of the nominees from our club, but something incredible happened this past week that needs to be told, and is that Pesi FC, the Finnish old man, and his band of misfits in South Florida has been eliminated from playoffs. Woo! I can't believe that seeing another team crash and burn was dissatisfying. And to the people that were already saying that give him the trophy already, well, guess what? No Open Cup, no MLS Cup, finish. Ronaldo would have never done that. Ronaldo's in Saudi Arabia lifting trophies, and your hero is lifting a ugly trophy that was gifted to him that looks like a coffee percolator. That's what's happening. With that said, and hold on, because if this goes viral, I want to piss more people off by wearing my Maccabi Haifa shirt. Look at that Magen David from the Israeli league. I really want to piss off people. So there you go. Boom. Messi is finished. Ronaldo will be wearing the colors of Orlando City next year. Watch that. Guys, if you have anything else to add to what I just said.
David, I think when you said that last line, my son downstairs probably fell off his chair because he's a huge Ronaldo fan. That's all I'm going to say.
Hey, if it comes, brother, I'll be the first one picking up at the airport. I have a sofa couch, or couch sofa. How do you call those things? You just pull the bed out of the couch, and he can have the master bathroom for sure. So Ronaldo, my house, mi casa, su casa, my friend. Go ahead, John. And you're mute.
Yep.
You're on mute.
Unfortunately, I did see earlier today that Ronaldo was picking up his option through 27. So I unfortunately don't think
it's okay. He probably doesn't want to soil his legacy
Don't
playing
burst
with
the
a
bubble,
Finnish
John.
man
Don't
like
burst
him.
the bubble.
Listen, he probably doesn't want to share the pitch with a Finnish man like Pessy.
Mm-hmm. And real quick, I do have to say, we gave him a lot of crap last week. Sasha Kleshtin did say on the MLS Pass show that it wasn't going to happen months ago when he first signed.
Wow. Okay, that's fantastic. One guy
and wrote everything down. I saw that video on Twitter. I said I have to call that out because he actually said it was impossible.
Well, Sasha Kleshtin, the guy that looks like a 1920s silent movie villain, finally said something truthful. So congratulations, Sasha. Here in Orlando, we still count you as a lion, although you never say anything nice about us, but it's okay. With that said, my friends, let's go to the awards. MLS put out the list, and some Lions got accolades. I gotta call it now before John reads the list. My opinion, the beefy Swede, like some people call him, the Viking, Robin Jansen, has to be either in comeback player of the year or Defender of the Year. A man that completely dominates the fundamentals. A guy that I have said it. If you follow me on social media, I have said it before. When he leaves Orlando, he's gonna leave Orlando a legend. A guy whose name is gonna be remembered many, many, many years into the future. Go ahead, John, and read the list of who's gonna be on it.
Yeah, definitely. So to lead it off, MVP, we got Facundo Torres, goalkeeper, Pedro Gillespie, comeback, Robin Janssen, like David said, defender, Antonio Carlos and Robin Janssen, young player of the year, Duncan McGuire, newcomer of the year, Dagger Dantor Housen and Rafael Santos. And then the MLS Impact Award is Felipe Martins. But to add on what David said, if you guys remember when we first signed Robin, I could be mistaken, but this is what's in my mind. He was the first player that was signed to shore up that back line, and he's still here today.
For sure. And again, a lot of people were like, "Who is he?" All we heard was the guy used to drive a forklift in a shoe horse factory. Doesn't scream confidence. Doesn't scream pedigree. But across the league, everybody agrees that the people that matter, the people that play this sport at a high caliber, say that Robin
And
Jansen.
for those that don't know, that don't know his story, you kind of touched on it,
Yeah,
David.
go ahead, brother.
Basically, he was working at a horseshoe factory, I believe it was,
Yeah, it was.
and basically was playing pickup from some friends, and one of the lower division teams saw him playing just pick up, Sunday league or whatever, and they needed a defender, so he came and played. First match ends up getting on against a higher level club, and then after that season, he basically the higher level club that he played against brings him on, and then I think it was he played for them for a year and a half, and then came to Orlando. So I mean, he rose very quickly. One of those success stories for people when they're younger, not to quit. And just he's an amazing story, and I'm very happy he's came here. He's our defense would not be the same without him, and it showed last season when he went out, we struggled.
No, for sure. And again, a gentleman on and off the pitch. And I'm super happy about that. One of the things that I want to go over before we head out to talk about the games. These are the teams from MLS that so far have managed to qualify for CONCACAF Champions Cup or CCC. And these are Vancouver via being the Canadian champions, PCFC being the fact that the league, as corrupt as it is, gifted them the League's Cup. Nobody can tell me otherwise, but it's okay. We're gonna be able to see this old man struggle in some cow patch in Costa Rica or Nicaragua or maybe Dominican Republic. I can't wait. I really can't wait. Whew. Anyways, then we have Nashville as the League's Cup runners up, Philadelphia as League Cup third place, Houston as the Open Cup champions. Congratulations one more time. I have never savored a victory from another club like I did that night. Actually, I'm sorry, guys.
I think
I I I I,
I
I,
think we were all on their team that
I
night,
told
man.
myself I wasn't gonna get this emotional about it, but it's okay. Uh, then we have FC Cincinnati as Super Show champions. Um, St. Louis via being the first and finishing the first team in the Western Conference, and your Orlando City Lions finishing in second place in the East. That guarantees that I have to say we have broken records, most points in club history, highest position. You got to remember that although we finished fourth in 2020. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so this is the highest finish, and also most wins for a manager, Oscar Pareja, so far. For those that like to jump on me and try to stab me with the puppy in puppy out controversy, the winning how you say it, the winning the most the most successful, because I can't even say the word, the most successful manager in Orlando City history, USL MLS, Oscar Pareja. There, cut this, put it in your private chats. where you like to destroy me, uh, talk about my physical appearance and everything, go chop it. Oh my God, he admitted Oscar Pareja is doing good. I did. There you go. I never said anything negative about Oscar, but I can convince you of otherwise. So that's what's going on. Well, guys, we got some comments here. Real quick. Our good friend Vixen. Go ahead, guys.
Hey, Vixen. Vixen's watching from Tallahassee. How you doing, Vixen?
T Town, the capital city of the beautiful state of Florida.
Vixen said another Orlando City come up story is Kevin Molino starting to play football at the age of just 14.
Yeah, I have something to add about Kevin. The funny thing about Kevin is when Adrian Heath, and I'm gonna mention that in a second, went to Trinidad. I've been there, beautiful country. I've been there 4 times for work. He went to see another player, and he was very disappointed at the player. But then Kevin caught his eye, and the rest is history, as they say. The soccer warrior, had it not been for that stupid injury on a meaningless friendly in the middle of the season, at the beginning of the season, I think it was our second game, our third game ever as an MLS club. It was against Ponte Petra from Brazil. He blew his knee, and he probably would have taken us to playoffs, but that's another story for another day. Um, I think I'm forgetting something, guys. And if I think of it, I'll bring it up again. There's something. Oh God, there was something to talk about, but neither here.
You know what,
Neither
David?
here.
I have one thing. I
Yeah, go
actually
ahead,
have
bro.
two things, right? What you were saying before, I think there's a lot of merit to it
Uh
about the
huh.
poppy in,
Well,
poppy out,
yes. Go
right?
ahead. I remember what it was.
I would make the argument, and I think everybody's seen that video when see people say poppy in, poppy out. It was you. There was a YouTube video of you somewhere talking about poppy in, poppy out.
Yes.
Had you not made that argument, I would argue we may not be where we are today.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I'm just saying
I just
because without the listen, I, I, that's just my opinion, but
well. Thank you, my
take it
brother.
for what it is.
Obviously, it's a biased one. We're good friends. We've known each other for years. We podcast
I
together.
honestly
No,
no, I don't bias. I really do believe that. I think that had you not lit that match, we wouldn't be having these discussions. It wouldn't have pushed that envelope. It wouldn't have set that conversation. You know what?
intriguing,
And
my friend.
people could say they don't watch, they don't listen, but they do, right?
Well, love me or hate me, people tune in. I want to thank everybody that's watching us live. I want to remind everybody, if you're new, if you want to jump on online with us, be on the
Yep.
show, tell us, talk about whatever topic you want.
Speaking of
Uh,
which, we
yeah, my
have.
friend.
I want to say a quick shout out to Tara and Darla. They were the winners of our
Thank
giveaway.
you.
We got to,
That's
I got to spend the at least the first half of the match on Saturday with them. They're one of the members of one of the supporters groups. We had a great time, and I'm pretty sure they're watching. But yeah, we had a great time. So
thank you, my
welcome to
friend.
the
And
podcast.
I feel embarrassed that we remember them on the 24th minute. It should have been the first thing. My apologies to them. Thank you for participating on our giveaway. Next year, we're definitely going to be doing more of that. We appreciate your participation, and obviously, listen. I watch games with a man. I mean, it's beautiful. The man feeds you. Unlimited drinks, unlimited food. He's fantastic company, analysis, and I mean, it drives in center circle. You can't ask for anything better.
Yep.
Well, no, what I wanted to say, aside from that important fact, is Adrian Heath was fired this past week after being in Minnesota for 7 years, I believe, because 2017 to 2023. Those of you guys that don't have engineering degrees like me, because I'm bad at math, somebody actually gave me a degree, and I'm horrible. I can't balance my own checkbook. It's insane. Now my kids and my wife are math whizzes. I figured that out. anyhow, he was let go. Adrian in this town, in my opinion, the father, one of the founding fathers of Orlando City. My respect to him. I learned a lot of football from this young man, from this legendary man, beloved in Everton, uh, and here. I mean, he's the master and the crafter will always be. The sad thing to me is that he only got to play one game in MLS on the stadium he helped design. That is the greatest tragedy. But he won. He quieted down the haters. Adrian, from me, from a humble supporter, I just want to say thank you for everything that you did in the club, and I hope that you find a place soon, either in MLS, USL, or whatever your career takes you. Whatever you did here in Orlando is appreciated by many of us that remember that an Englishman with his trademark uh, button-down shirt and black slacks, white button-down shirt, sweating profusely, told us, "Hey, we're gonna take this ragtag team into MLS." And some of us were foolish enough to believe it, and here we are today. So thank you very much, Adrian. If you guys have anything to say about Adrian, and then we can go ahead and move on to.
So not actually about Adrian, but our good friend Mark, Leave Early Mark. Remember wrote us on
Come
Twitter.
on, man, leave him
He's
alone.
unfortunately not able to watch this live, but he did want to bring up a valid point. And I'll just read what he said. Basically, what his question was. Basically, his question is if we don't win MLS Cup and we get bounced in the first round of the playoffs, did the club really do better in quotation marks compared to the 2022 season end result? 2022 season, we won the Open Cup. 2023, we didn't win any hardware.
Go
What do
ahead,
you
Ahmed. Let's take that one, brother.
Short answer, no. We really didn't. I mean, you can make arguments of all types for it, but I would say we didn't. And we have opportunity, and the reason for it is we had the opportunities too, but we did not capitalize on them. We had the Leagues Cup. What happened with that? It happened for whatever reason, right? We had the US Open Cup that we were defending champions of. We went in and out. So yeah, I can't honestly say that we did better as a team overall. Are we
Mhm.
playing better? Yes. At the end of the day, does that matter? That at the end of the season, does it matter that we were playing better? No, because at the end of the day, we have less than what we did before,
Mhm.
right? Last season we had the US Open Cup, the trophy. What do we have so far this season? Nothing,
Nothing, unfortunately.
right?
Yeah,
And I'm
exactly.
not saying that because I'm downplaying all the efforts. We are 100% doing so much better. We have the effort is there, right? But I can't honestly say if nothing comes of this you if the playoffs, did we do better than last season? Absolutely not. I don't think so. And I think you would have a hard time arguing that we did. Um, I mean, come on, we had the opportunities, right? So
Yeah,
No.
I agree with you, Ahmed. I mean, the thing is with the whole Poppy in, Poppy out thing, if we get bounced the first round, what did second place in the regular season really do for us? Nothing.
exactly, exactly.
We've been much lower than second place and had the same result.
Mhm.
So, and right now, Ahmed, you brought it up before the show. Right now, I think it was you said that, Ahmed. Um, basically, yeah, the right now we're slated and it's pretty much locked in that we're playing Nashville. So we have to beat Nashville twice in 3 games, twice at home, once away. A team that we traditionally haven't done well against. I think our win there, if I recall, was our third win all time against them. And I think that's including the US Open Cup last year. So and they're going to come out with a point to prove. They're irritated. Their fans are irritated at the placing on the table, and that's not the most favorable matchup for us to face first round in the playoffs, because we officially have the second place locked down. What happens below us is kind of yet to be seen, but it appears as if Nashville's a lock for seventh place,
Yeah.
and we're going to be facing them, and
And that's a good segue to what happened this past Wednesday at Music City, the state capital of the beautiful volunteer state of Tennessee. Um, Before I go with that, I just want to remind our the people that are watching us live. If you DM us in one of our social media platforms, we'll send you the link, and you are more than welcome to join us. If you have any comments that you want to do, you can comment live, and we'll read them as you have seen other people do. But the idea of the on the Capo stand, just so you know, the reason why I decided to call the show on the Capo stand is because as the Capo leads the supporters, chants, and is the focus, and is the leader, and gets the attention of people. You will also do that by coming on board and having the opportunity to express yourself on any topic that you deem important about Orlando City. And you can disagree with us. We are fans just like you, and we want to be a platform for the fan base to do so. And as far as I know, we're the only podcast that allows you to express yourself live on the main show. So take the opportunity. That's all I have to say. So, all right, my friends. So we went out to Nashville, watched the game. It was pretty interesting. Nashville basically had our number. This week was we were slaying giants. We were putting monsters to rest. Two teams that definitely had our number, that had cleaned our clocks before. And aside from the first year in the league, Nashville have been a team that we were unable to defeat. We were tying or we were losing. They obviously sent us home in 2021, which was not nice because the fan base had the opportunity to talk a lot of trash. But they say that revenge is a dish best served cold. So Orlando City, from the boot of Duncan Maguire, a kid that is on fire, scored 2 goals last 2 games. On the 44th minute, basically sets up the stage, and we escaped Music City with 3 points. I wasn't expecting the 3 points. I'm gonna be quite honest with you. We don't do very well on midweek games, but guess what, my friends? We are road warriors, and we have proven that we are good on the road. Let's start with you, John, and then Ahmed. Uh, your opinions on what happened this past week in Nashville.
yeah, I'm probably just as surprised with you that we got 3 points Wednesday. I mean, obviously, as a fan of the supporter of the club, I was hopeful. Knew the club knew the boys had it in them to come away with 3 points. Um, Kind of an ugly game when you look at it. We Nashville to a certain extent. We controlled the game for the most part. I mean, Nashville did have a couple opportunities throughout the match, but that's going to happen against a club that is as good as Nashville, even though they're sitting seventh. They could just as easily be sitting where we're at, and we could be in seventh with the way the table is shaping up this year. So I mean, they're a good squad. They have one of the best players in the league, in Hani Mukhtar, who's been a thorn in our side since he joined the league. And I thought Poppy had a decent game plan. It wasn't sit back and defend; it was sit back and control the ball and let them make let them make the mistake. And when they made their one mistake, that we capitalized on it. We did have other chances in the match as well, but the one in particular, they really, got caught up the field a little bit, and we were able to get behind. And Ojeda with just a beautiful ball into Duncan, and Duncan with the nifty little near post finish that takes skill. I don't care what anybody says. To finish near post like that, was it skill that he hit the post? Not necessarily, but to be able to finish near post takes a lot of skill, a lot of athleticism, especially when you're as tall and a bigger soccer player like Maguire is. And then we finished them off. We the boys did what they love to do. Had some of their dark arts. Got a player sent off from Nashville. Um, the funniest part of the game, my favorite part of the game was late in the game, 88th, 89th minute. Actually, it started in the 88th minute. It finished in the 90th minute, I believe. Was when we had a goal kick and Pedro was going out towards the corner to get the ball. And the ref said, no, go get the ball behind the net. Gillespie was like, 4 or 5 steps away from the ball in the corner. So he turns around, goes and gets the ball. And him and Janssen had to have some sort of communication to where he said, hey, when I put this ball down, point out the ball in the corner. Puts the ball down, and the second he places that ball down and takes a step back, you see Janssen start to point in the corner. From the time the ball went out of bounds to the time Gillespie finally kicked the ball was about 1 minute and 4 seconds. Just beautiful, just
The dark arts, my
dark
friend,
arts.
for sure.
That's all I have to say about that game.
All right, man. We got some comments. If you don't mind reading them before you give us your impressions
Yeah,
of the game.
absolutely. Tour Rep 1, David, please give a shout out to the drum line. Seems like they're overlooked.
Up the
Yeah,
line, up our drum line, baby.
the drum line is the heartbeat of that wall. They're the backbone. And if you're interested in supporting them, I know they have a page, because if you don't know, they're all self-supported. The wall,
And volunteers, by the way.
yeah, and volunteers. So they do everything themselves. I know they have a Facebook page and a GoFundMe. So if you're interested in supporting them, please do. They can use all your help all the time.
For
The
sure.
stadium would be nothing without them in terms of atmosphere, because they don't have speakers and microphones pushing their music out. That's all I'll leave
No,
it at.
yeah, for sure, for sure. So, if
And
anybody feels
by the way,
alluded,
guys, you can find them. I just looked it up to make sure I had it right. You can find them on Instagram and Facebook, The Wall Drumline, and I'm sure you can find information there to help them out, because, like they were saying, they're completely self-funded.
absolutely,
Absolutely.
we're one fan base. We win and we lose as one. Remember that, my friends. Another comment here.
Orlando Soccer 10 couldn't believe Nashville had 0 shots on target that game, let alone getting 11 extra minutes too.
And you stole my thunder, my friend, because I have some stats that are going to shock you. But before that, our friend Amen is gonna give us his insight on the game. Go ahead, Amen.
All right. So Nashville has always been a fear of mine for the situation that we're in right now. I'm glad we got the win, but I don't think we set the tone we needed to. Right? We're going to meet them for 2, possibly 3 games.
Mhm.
I think we needed to, for me, come out more aggressively than we did. I don't know if this was a tactic of some type to maybe make us more confident than we should be, but that was, for me, not what I expected of the match. Right? We played a good game. We did not play a great game. Against a team like that, we needed to pound it down so that coming to that first playoff game, they were worried. And I don't feel like we did that. We played a good game. We controlled the game. But the thing is, for me, with a team like Nashville, if we feel like we controlled the game, I would be worried, because typically we haven't done that.
No,
Right?
absolutely. And Hani Mukhtar was completely neutralized.
Yes. And I want to say that we did a great job of doing that. But then I'm
Yeah.
like, really? We did a great job of doing that? Like,
Well, guys, let me share with you guys the stats. I just got to see them right before our good friend Orlando Soccer 10 mentioned that, and I'm shocked. 8 shots by Nashville, 2 by us. 0 shots on target for Nashville, 1 on us. Imagine that, the goal. Possession, 57% for Orlando, 44 for Nashville. And this went over my head. They had 4 corners. We have 0 in that
Yep.
game.
Wow.
And they had a red card at the end, frustration, yada yada yada. And they have 5 yellow cards. I mean, once we scored, their world came crashing down. And I have to say, for those that don't know, the manager of Nashville, Gary Smith, was the manager of Stevenage. Go ahead and take a shot, please. And I know he was a manager of Stevenage before I became a Stevenage fan. But I have a lot of friends that know everything about Gary Smith, and they can read him like a book. And a lot of the issues that he had in Stevenage, who at the time was in League One, was looking at relegation. That's the reason why he was let go, and eventually they were relegated to go ahead and spend 9 seasons in League Two. Now they're back in League One, doing beautiful, by the way. But at the end of the day, Gary is stuck to his guns. He's very pragmatic, and he does not do well when which is going to be great for playoffs. By the way, he doesn't do well when the game plan goes awry. And to quote the great Mike Tyson, everybody has a plan until they get punch in the mouth. And I think if we go into the playoffs and we do just that, we may get away with a win, and we can finish them off at home in Nashville, which will be poetic justice because again they took us out a couple of years back, and we're not the same Orlando City that we were back then. So that's just beautiful in my opinion. So guys, we left with the 3 points, and we come back home against
Real quick,
New York.
David,
Go ahead, brother.
before we move on, my dad can't figure technology out, so he doesn't know how to comment. He can't figure out how to figure the whole thing out, but he just texted me because he wanted to add something to it.
Sure, my friend.
So he said, by the way, just for those people that know, he listens to us every week from Cincinnati, Ohio. Swears he's the biggest FC Cincinnati fan. The only FC Cincinnati game match he's ever been to was when they played Orlando, and he wore his Orlando shirt the whole time. And this is the only MLS-based podcast that he pays attention to. So,
his son is in
tell
it.
me who he's a real fan of.
Taste.
But anyway, he said the Nashville game gets mentioned as the most boring pro soccer game of the year. The clincher was the plus 11-minute half. And it was just another game. Duncan McGuire made the difference and not just the goal.
Mhm.
No, I have to say that it was fantastic game management. The dark cards came in full control. And at the end of the day, listen, it's frustrating when they do it to you. Because if that was us, I guarantee you that the Nashville podcast this week are gonna be screaming to the heavens. Because after that they play Philadelphia to a 0-0 result, which for a team with the caliber of players they have to finish seventh, it's a really disappointing season. And I am willing to bet the farm that if Gary Smith has another season like that in Nashville, he may be gone because Nashville came into the. I mean, they have done beautifully. They have made playoffs every year. God bless them. They are cultivating a great fan base in a part of the country where it's super difficult. For those of us that have visited what is considered, the center south of the United States, it's college football. That's what it is. It's American football. It's king in Tennessee, and to see people, not only supporting MLS in Nashville, but USL League One in Chattanooga and USL Championship in Memphis is incredible. So yeah, it was a great game, and we did what we had to do. And to quote Vin Diesel in the movie Fast and the Furious, "Win by an inch or a mile, winning is winning." So there we go.
And the thing that the kicker for me was to hear the man who seemingly wants to play how Orlando played that entire match complain about how Orlando played. Even Nashville's own fans were calling him out like, dude, this is the way we played. Like, what are you talking about? This is how you want to play. They beat us at our own game.
Hey, listen, you play people enough times, you get to learn them. You get to learn what takes them off. So we came back to the house to Orlando this past Saturday to close the regular season. By the way, fantastic. The place, to me, it was full. Obviously there was empty spaces here and there, but it was a great turnout. I don't have the official numbers of what our attendance was, but the fan base was in full blast. There was a lot of new fans, and you can always tell them apart because they're in street clothes. or they're wearing Manchester United or City or something random like that. So I'm happy that a lot of people are giving Orlando City a chance. Obviously, winning is going to bring all the boys to the yard. We know that, but it was great to see. So Orlando City wins 3-2. We conceded 2 goals that we had no business conceding, and at the end, I thought, oh, the boys are coming back because New England is like a slippery snake, poisonous snake that can bite you at any time. But we got the wins. Goal scorers. Uh, Duncan McGuire on the 31st minute with a filthy, filthy, disrespectful goal. In my opinion, I felt really bad for former Lion Earl Edwards Jr., who just stood there seeing this ball. Listen, I have an opinion. If you're a goalkeeper and you get beaten on the near post, just give your gloves to the kids, to the Ruckus kids, and exit through the tunnel. That's, to me, that's what I think. And then after that, Facundo Torres on the 37th minute with a goal that, in my opinion, when I saw that, I said, get all the autographs, take all the pictures at
Business card.
Publix, at Metro PCS, AT&T store, wherever it is that they have the next
Yep.
appearance, because this boy is gonna leave us. He's gonna leave us. I'm sorry, he's gonna leave us. 20 mil. That's the price tag, and I think that somebody's gonna pay for that. And last, Ivan Angulo at the death of the first half with an incredible golazo. And New England wasn't gonna stay quiet. Carlos Hill, he returned on the 42nd minute to make it a 1 goal lead. Thank God we put that third goal, because the second one came on the third minute of stoppage at the death, literally at the death, seconds before the game was over, and it would have sucked to surrender 2 points that way. We have done that in the past, so this is nothing new. So I met you first, then John, and on impressions about the game this past Saturday.
You know what, David? We played a great match. We really did. I feel like we had our stuff together. I was actually impressed. Um, when I saw Facundo's goal, my first thought after we celebrated, I said to my son, I'm like, "Did you see that?" And you know what he said? He's like, "Yeah, I see. That's no big deal. I see that on EPL all the time." What he didn't realize is that's exactly the point,
Absolutely.
right? To your point, that's not what we see in MLS all the time, right? So to your point, get his autographs now, because at this rate, if we continue like this, I mean, I would say it's a given already. There's not that much left in the season. There's nothing left in the season.
There's nothing left in one game.
Yeah, there's nothing. So yeah, I mean, great game by the guys. Um, there's not much more you could have asked for. Honestly, I think this game for me was better than the Nashville game in terms of how we played.
Oh yeah, for sure. And we were at home on top of that, so that
Yeah,
makes it spicy. Go ahead,
absolutely.
John.
First, I got to shout out Eddie from the Lions Den. He learned the hard way why Gillespie was parrying every shot that was off to the side of him and wasn't catching it. It was an unusual blunder by Gillespie on the first New England goal. Literally, the
Yeah.
goal goes in. It was on the opposite side, but the goal goes in. And I literally think back to the Den After Dark when he was going on a rampage about that. And I actually called him out on Twitter about it. We had a good laugh about it. But, yeah, I mean, they played well. It's funny, the first 20, 25 minutes, defensively, I felt they were ball chasing a little bit.
Mhm.
I actually – my girlfriend and son weren't able to be there. She was visiting family that live in South Carolina, so I was there by myself. And I texted her and I said, they're ball chasing too much. And then 5 minutes later, we put in the first goal. I'm like, well, I might as well just text her that every time I think we're playing bad and we'll score a goal. Yeah, I mean, the little flick header by Duncan, great shot again. Great ball in by Dagger Dan Thorhausen. I saw somebody, I can't remember who it was right now. I apologize if you hear this. Saw it on Twitter. Somebody was saying where their seats are, there's not a lot of season ticket members around them, so it's all new fans. And this person was saying that the last several matches, the fans that that she doesn't, people that are watching that she doesn't recognize or he doesn't recognize, again, I can't remember, said that kept referring to the blonde guy, meaning Dagger Dan, and how impressed they were with him. I mean, he's taken that right back spot, a position that he hasn't really ever played. He came in as a winger or
Mhm.
a midfielder, and I feel he's adapted well. It was rough the first couple matches, but I feel like he's really adapted well. You can tell he's getting more and more comfortable with it, and yeah, I mean, great. Would have liked them to finish off stronger than they did. They kind of second half they kind of sat back, and like I said a couple weeks ago, that's my worry is against a good team with a good attacking player like Carlos Gil is. You can't sit back. Hani Mukhtar is the same way. You can't just sit back and absorb their pressure because they're going to make you pay. And honestly, we're lucky that going back to the first half, lucky New England didn't score. They had a smashing ball from 20 yards out. I forget which player did it that ricocheted off the post. I mean, not even a ricochet, clanged off the post.
It was Hill. It was Hill.
It was okay, yeah, and I
Yeah,
mean that we were very lucky that didn't go in. But overall,
absolutely.
other than a couple uncharacteristic errors by Galese, well, the second goal wasn't really an error; that was a deflection. So one error by Galese, and then an unfortunate deflection by Janssen, trying to block the shot, trying to make a play as a center back should. I was pretty happy with the performance overall, though.
No, for sure. We got a comment here.
I'll take it.
All right.
Two rep one. Dan the man has also Angulo is key. Seems he and Facundo have a connection going.
No, absolutely. Listen, DDT, Thorhausen, and Dagger Dan Thorhausen. That's where the nickname comes from. And our good friend, uh, Eddie Cruz from Orlando Lions, then baptized him as that, and I'm gonna call him DDT. I know some people like get triggered by it. I don't understand why, but anyhow, the Icelandic player. Listen, I heard this from good sources that he wants to be in the national team picture for Iceland. Iceland has a population of about 255,000 people. So this is not far fetched. You know what I'm saying? That the guy can actually make the national team, and he's making a point. Um, One of the things that I like about Dagger Dan, and I'm on record that I'm a Dagger Dan man, is that the guy has embraced his time here. He's learning Spanish. He is making the attempts to hang out with the guys. He's being soaking up the culture of Orlando. The guy wants to represent the team, wants to represent the city, wants to understand who are the people in the terraces, in the stands, who they are, what makes them tick, why they live here. I think that shows commitment to me beyond a paycheck, because you can come here like we have players in the past, get on the pitch, kick a ball around, and then when the time comes around, see you later. I don't care, whatever. You're just another name on the list of teams that I played and whatever. And I think what he has done and what he's doing, but I should say, is something that is very impressive to me. And like I said, the best of Thorhausen is yet to come, in my opinion. Um,
Well, the
with
thing
that
is,
said,
David, with
yeah, go ahead.
Dagger Dan, especially with Faku, and if Faku moves on, we'll have another winger up there, whether it's Ojeda or bring somebody in the transfer window. His playmaking ability and ability to shoot from distance is something that we haven't had at a right back. Sure, we've had speed when we had Ruan, who won, but we haven't had a dynamic playmaker like he has the ability to be with his experience at midfield and at winger. And he's fast. He's not as fast as Huon was, but he is very fast, very dynamic, can shoot from distance. So the defense, when he makes that overlapping run, they have to be a lot more honest with him than the other two options that we've had at right back this season. No disrespect to them, they've done a fantastic job when they've been in there. Mikey Holiday's still young; he still has a lot to learn. He's what, 20, I believe,
Yes.
19 maybe. So Dagger Dan has 4 years on him. You know, Mikey has a lot to learn about the game yet as a 19-year-old, and having him as a sub isn't a bad thing. I mean, he could be starting, but Dagger Dan's filled into that role and given us options that Mikey hasn't quite developed yet. So having him on the squad's exciting. I was excited when we signed him, when we signed Dagger, and I mean, right now the sky's the limit for him at that right back position.
No, absolutely. And to the people that are watching us that are new, we're gonna let our good friend Vic Sumakasa here in a second, and you could do this too. All you gotta do is send us a message, DM us on one of the platforms where we have an account, and we'll gladly send you the link. You can come on and you can talk about whatever you want. And Vixen comes in at the right time because soon we're gonna be talking about our last game of the regular season. So let's go ahead and let him in. Welcome, Vixen. You are on the Capo stand, my friend. How you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. How you guys doing? Happy Columbus Day to all
Thank
of
you,
you.
brother. Doing great.
Yes.
So,
Um,
Vixen, your opinion of what happened this past week? Two wins, one away, one at home, and then after that, we're gonna jump into the situation at Toronto. Go
let's
ahead.
do it. You guys were talking about earlier in the podcast when I was watching, and you guys were talking about your memory about Adrian Heath.
Yes.
My favorite memory of Adrian Heath was this was a soccer match and this was a football game for MLS and like a soccer match in the Citrus Bowl. It was Orlando City versus New York Red Bulls. He was coaching, and the referee gave him a red card. I went to this match with my father. The referee gave him a red card, and as he was walking out, as he was walking back to the locker room, he was like pumping up the crowd to get louder,
Yes.
to get crazier. You
It was
know,
against Dallas, against Papi and Oscar Pareja, and it was because he was arguing a red card against Kyle Aaron that was rescinded later. And guess who was the ref of that game? Wild guess.
Ted
Ted
Uncle, no,
Uncle.
Who?
Ted
Ted
Uncle.
Uncle.
Ted Uncle.
Uncle.
Mhm.
Ted Uncle. All right, guys. I'm sorry, Vixen. I didn't mean to interrupt you. I just wanted to point out that this was the villain origin story of our
Yeah.
good friend Ted Uncle.
Oh yes, yeah. So I just that's my favorite memory of him is just hyping up the wall or the fans to get louder and crazier, and I like that moment because I've never experienced that, and I was in my whole life. I was only like a 14, 15-year-old kid
Oh, you're
there.
serious, bro? Now I feel old. That was
I
the
know
other
Yeah,
you.
day, my friend.
that
That was
was
the
way
other
back. That
day.
was in the Citrus Bowl, man.
You're talking about
Seventeen,
20. This is
20,
2016.
2016. Yeah.
Yeah, 2016. You were
No,
14 in 2016.
2015. 2015. It was the year before the Copa America, USA.
You were 14 in 2015.
2015. Yeah, dude.
Oh my God, man.
Yeah, dude. He
Ay, mi madre. Oh God. I just, I just had like a ton of bricks fall on me, my friend. But anyways,
yeah,
Dixon,
no,
it's not your
me
fault,
too,
bro.
man. Me
It's
too.
not your fault that you're exuding youth. So, but no, no. I remember that game, brother. And
Well, you went? You went to that match? You went to that
I was
game?
there. I was there.
I was there too.
As a matter of fact, I was sitting right next to a couple from Norway.
Nice.
First MLS game. It was a family. I remember it was mom, dad, and son and daughter. And my kids were little. My kids were little. My kids were, oh my goodness. My oldest was
2015.
7, and my youngest was 5. That's how long ago it was.
Wow.
So we had a great time, and of course, a man has watched games with me, and you know how I got go and tell people and yell and scream, and these people were just eating it up. They were just loving it, and
Yeah. I mean,
yeah,
with
and
the fans,
they had a great time, and they were like, oh, in Norway we don't have football culture like this. This is fun. So yeah, it was a great game. The Citrus Bowl to me has a lot of happy memories.
I agree.
And like I said, we wish Adrian the best. So guys, we're heading out to close the season. This is going to be this Saturday, October 21st at 6 p.m. local time. At BMO Field in the beautiful city of Toronto. I've never been there, but it's beautiful. Nonetheless, right there on the shores of one of the Great Lakes, I believe is Superior, if I'm not mistaken. So
Lake
uh,
Erie, I think.
Lake Erie. Okay,
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. I'm not looking at a map. So with that said, my friends, Toronto having an awful season. They're being eliminated from playoffs for weeks already. And I gotta say something controversial. Play the kids. Toronto is no challenge to us. Play the kids. All our players keep them because we're gonna need them for the playoffs. Send everybody. I want to see on this pitch at 6 p.m. This Saturday. I want to see. I want to see Rivera. I want to see Jack Lynn. I want to see Mikey Holiday. I want to see all the kids. Play the kids. Throw OCV. All those guys that we signed from OCV to the first team. Send them to Toronto.
Where's Thomas?
Losing
Where's Thomas?
Losing or winning, my friends, means nothing at this point. We are solidified. We already did everything. We can't risk injuring our star players on a meaningless game. That said, I want to give you guys before I go down the line. These are the last three matches that we have played against them. Uh, we have defeated them 4-0, 4-0, and 1-0 in the last three matches that we have faced them. The series is all time Toronto with 8 wins, 3 draws, and Orlando City with 7 wins. So we have an opportunity to tie it, if you will. This is not the Toronto or MLS champion. This is not the Toronto of the Italian ant, the atomic ant. This is a Toronto that has thrown the towel, has fired the manager, is in complete turmoil. And to be quite honest with you, it should be like going to the dentist for a cleaning, just part of life, right? So let's go ahead and start with John, and then Vixen, then Ahmed. And I'm doing it that way because that's how you guys show on my screen. So go ahead, guys.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you. There's nothing to play for. We got a little bit of a break coming up, so it's not like we got a game next week to keep the boys fresh for going into an international break where we have quite a few players that are brought up. So let's try to give them a little more rest, give the legs a little break, get them fresher for that international break, and so they have a better chance of coming back healthy from the break and healthy for our first playoff match. I feel even starting a lot of younger guys and guys that don't play much, whether it be Felipe or Urso or whoever it may be, we should win it. I mean, Toronto is so bad this year. You almost feel bad for them that they're so bad. So yeah, I agree with you, David. Play the young guys, play the guys that don't get much time, don't even have the typical starters dress. Have them sitting at home here in Orlando with a cocktail in their pool watching the match.
Yeah.
Let those guys rest, get their legs fresh, and get them ready for the playoffs.
Vixen.
Quick question. If we could still go down to third, right?
No, it's guaranteed, bro. We're
Clear.
second.
We're second. Okay. I want to say if we could still go down to third or fourth place, even though we still have home field advantage, we got to start, Facundo and stuff. And
No, my friend, this is a done deal. That's why we're saying play the kids, and we mean it this time.
No. Is Thomas Williams still with Orlando City?
Yes, absolutely.
Start him. I thought he did great last season, and I would like to see how he's doing this season. I know he played like a few matches in the U.S. Open Cup last year. Insignia's, Toronto was going through a tough time, and Insignia just got into a fight with a fan and one of their matches in Canada.
Wow.
Yeah, the fan was cursing out Insignia, and Insignia got into like a very heated argument with the fan, and it blew up.
That has never happened in Orlando between Italian players and fans. That has never happened in Orlando.
Yeah.
And I'm being sarcastic. It has. But go ahead.
And Bednarevsky with another issue. I think he was like vaping or smoking, and they weren't really cool about that. And then it's just a lot of disagreements in that team, and yeah, we should definitely win. Um, we hopefully it'll be like I think it'll be like a 3-0 win over there in Toronto, and yeah, no, we should definitely start Utso. I would like to see Gaston Gonzalez play a little bit.
No,
See,
I'm with you.
like,
Basically, bring all those kids that were hurt, that were with OCB. Just bring them. Let's see what we got. Is
yeah,
we
for sure.
not even a friend? This not even in a friendly do you get this opportunity. Let's throw them out there and see what we got.
Absolutely.
And so yeah. So go ahead, Ahmed.
I say play our normal lineup.
Really?
I'm
Go ahead,
joking.
brother.
It was a joke. It was a joke.
I was like, great, fantastic debate. Let's see what I right now people were just with their phones in their hand,
Mhm.
about to message us. But go ahead, man.
That
I
was a
mean, you
joke.
got me,
No,
brother. I was like, whoa, wait a minute. What does he know that I don't?
yeah, no. I mean, listen. I mean, the Philly, who's next in line with us, they're 5 points away. I mean, there's nothing that could happen at this point, right?
Right, for sure.
So I think it would be silly for us not to. I think all of those folks that you are all mentioning are more than deserving of an opportunity. Even throughout the season, they've had opportunities that we should have played them that we didn't. And I think earlier on in the season, when we had those bad spells, they might have helped us out. So I think this is a great opportunity to play them, let them show what they have, and give them that time. Give them that time to shine. And who knows, maybe we'll find the next one or two stars for next season. Because who knows where we're going to be next season.
You know what? I'm with you, my friend. I'm with you. And just to give you guys a rundown of how this season is looking going into decision day, which I'm gonna be honest with you, this is the first time in many many years that decision day is meaningless. I mean, we pretty much have what's set up. So we have Cincinnati Super Shield winner at first, Orlando City at second, Philly, Columbus, New England are teams that may switch positioning depending on what happens this Saturday. New England, Atlanta. I'm sorry, it's Philadelphia, Columbus, New England, and Atlanta that may switch positioning depending on what happens this weekend. Nashville, regardless if they win, they are our pairing for the playoffs. And of course, next week we're definitely gonna talk in depth of what the playoffs have for in storage for us. And then we have Montreal, yeah, who is going to be trying to continue to secure the um, the playoff spot. DC has been eliminated, although they're ninth at the moment, is because they have already played 34 games. So if New York Red Bulls, Chicago, Charlotte, or New York get a win or a tie, depending on where they are on the table, they're gonna knock them off. So unfortunately for them, Wayne Rooney was fired as the manager of DC United. Don't feel bad for him. Right now, League One and League Two have openings for managers, and in England, and he's gonna land in one of those. I guarantee you that. It's Wayne Rooney. You know what I mean? It's Wayne Rooney. And with that said, the two teams at the bottom that have been eliminated are Inter, Fort Lauderdale, PCFC. We got the refs in our pocket, and we're still trash. Club and in our opponent, Toronto FC, coming up this Saturday. That's it. If I can briefly talk about the West, we have Seattle, St. Louis. My apologies. LAFC, Seattle, Houston, Vancouver, RSL already punching their ticket to the postseason, and in a very 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 packed field. You have Portland, San Jose, Dallas, SKC, Minnesota, and then at the bottom already eliminated Austin, the darling of this league until Pessy came on board. Um, LA Galaxy, my God, what a fall from grace for this team, and Colorado, which is a complete dumpster fire. And at this point, it's you can definitely say that officially Toronto FC are the 2023 Wooden Spoon winners. Sad, just sad. We have we have a
Real
comment. I
quick,
don't even
Dave.
know if it's a comment. It's more like a reaction.
Yeah.
And go ahead, John. Go ahead and for the benefit of
Uh,
those that are listening to
Darla
us.
Dwyer Werhan commented with three laughing or cracking
That's
up
actually Darla,
emojis.
the winner of one of
Yeah.
the giveaway.
Yeah, hello, Darla. I didn't have the pleasure to meet you and your partner, but I'm glad that you guys enjoy the game, and thank you for watching us. I
Real
appreciate
quick,
that. We give
David.
you a shout out in case you were not watching when we did on the 24th minute. Go look it up, and we give you a shout out, and thank you again for participating on our giveaway. All right, my friends, we have come to the end. Fortunately, unfortunately, to depending on who you ask. I want to remind everybody that we're live on Twitch, on Twitter or X, on YouTube, uh, as Davis Channel 76, on Instagram and on Facebook, and all the applications except YouTube. We're at on the Capo stand. You can participate just like Vixen. You can come and join us. All you got to do is send us a DM. Hey, I wanna be on the show. We send you the link and you can come and talk because it's the end of the season. Vixen has been a faithful listener. Usually we like 3 4 minutes. Thank you very much. Move to the next guy. There's nobody taking the bait. I just I give Vixen a few extra minutes here with us. Um, and we can be found wherever you listen to podcasts. Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Spotify. I don't know, whatever. We're like 5 or 6 of them. I don't use them all, so I'm an Apple Podcast guy because just there, right? So with that said, thank you very much. We have another comment here by Darla. Hi guys, thank you, Darla. I appreciate that. And hopefully, like I said, you enjoy your time with Mr. Salim here. All right, guys. So final words. We head out to the end. Again, I want to say before I let the guys say their piece. I want to say thank you very much for everybody that has been with us this regular season. It has been a challenging year. I left LPO, started on in 90 Minutes podcast. We know how that ended. And then I was gonna work away from this, but you guys asked me to come back. I thought that I was gonna be doing it by myself. John joined me. Ahmed joined the team. Great addition, and listeners like Vixen who on a regular basis contribute. I appreciate you guys. The guys that always comment, the guys that always come on the show. The guys that interact with us on social media. Thank you very much. For those that are not aware, I'm out of Twitter, unfortunately. The video of me laughing at Inter Miami when they lost was considered harassment, so they took my account and I gave up. Mr. Tesla, it's not giving me any more chances. I ran out of phone numbers, out of email addresses. I can't open another account, and that's perfectly fine with me. So all right, John. Any final words before we say goodbye to the friends? And we
Yeah.
head out
So
into.
it just came across my feed that Tata Martino has enrolled at classes at Miami University to take his nurse's assistant because they have SWAT get his nurse's assistant degree. So because Enter Miami is changing their name to the Enter Fort Lauderdale Retirement Home of former Barcelona footballers, and they need
My
somebody
goodness.
licensed on staff to take care of. No, I'm obviously joking.
Leave that man alone, man. Leave that man alone. How you gonna do him like that? He has a family. John, where can we
But
find you on social media?
yeah, you can find me on Twitter at that boy JRW.
Fantastic, Vixen.
Well, one thing that you guys were saying earlier about Ahmed mentioned. Well, first thing, like to continue what Ahmed previously said, we do have to play the Toronto FC match as a playoff match, as always. We cannot let our feet, we can't just take it easy. I still want to win against Toronto. And another thing I would like to say was what Ahmed said to David about how talking about how the David talking about Papi and Papi out case. Like
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I
for
was
sure.
talking. that's what I was talking about. Like that's what happens when we are losing matches. Like our voices are heard, and like that's why I don't think like losing a match isn't the worst thing in the world. Like we lose to RSL, then we beat Atlanta in Atlanta for the second time this season.
Hmm,
We tie with Inter Miami 1-1, and then we beat Montreal 3-0. You know, like like I feel like we could learn from those type of matches that we don't think that we play the best, and then we do better later on. Congratulations to Duncan McGuire. Uh,
yes,
150% round of applause. He deserves
absolutely.
it. Uh, he deserves it 150%. I wish he gets caught up to the national team very soon under Greg Berhalter because he loves to use MLS players. And good luck to all of our teammates, our fellow Lions that are going on international duty. To Pedro Gallese, Willer Cartagena, Facundo Torres, and I believe Rivera got called up again for Puerto Rico.
Yes, he sure
Oh,
has. So congratulations to that as well. Um, so no, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Vixen. If I didn't mean to
yeah,
interrupt you.
Pedro Gaesa and Willer Cartagena got a game against Chile in Chile. Then they fly over to Argentina to play against Lionel Andres
Paco's
Messi.
back with Uruguay, so congratulations to those guys.
Yeah,
So thank you very much, my friend, and thank you again for joining us. Ahmed, parting words for the fans.
You know what? I think we've said it all, honestly, man. I mean, I'm looking forward to a great rest of the season, or the playoffs, I should say. Um, yeah, man. There's really, I mean, we've said it all. Um, a quick shout out to the Orlando City Soccer Schools, South U11 and U12 teams. They had a tournament this weekend. They won their respective age leagues. So big shout out to them.
Congratulations,
Future is purple, man. The future is very purple.
the little
And
Cubs, the little Cubs.
yeah, man, that's where it all starts. It's actually amazing to see that development over time. So
No,
yeah,
I'm happy to hear that, my friend, and I know your son being part of that. I remember when my sons won their back-to-back champions in futsal. I almost broke their ribs because as a parent, there's nothing greater than seeing your kids beat the odds, and after a few seasons of getting their butts kicked, winning.
yeah.
I have to remind everybody that after this Saturday, we're gonna go on a break, meaning the league. The playoffs don't start until October 25th with the the wild card games, I should say. And we're expecting to lift the MLS Cup one more time. Who we don't know. Hopefully Orlando City, and that's going to be December 9th. It's going to be a long season. It has been a long season. It's going to be a very short off season, and it's going to be very interesting, in my opinion,
Mhm.
to see what's going to happen. With that said, I want to thank everybody that watched us live, everybody that's going to watch us later, everybody that's going to listen to us later. Remember, please interact with us on social media. Appreciate that. I'm also in the Facebook discussion group on Facebook. I'm there talking, all my nonsense. I ran into the guys from OC Fan TV. I want to give them a shout out. They have been collecting reactions after the games, and I want to say to Zach, David, and Bryce. Thank you very much, my friends. I appreciate what you guys do. I definitely have a lot of fun doing that. And next season, or well, in the playoffs, they're gonna be doing it. But if next season you want to join them, they're gonna be on Central, on the north side of the stadium. You can't miss them. They're gonna be right next to the homeless people that are smoking weed. Uh, you're gonna get a contact high while you give your opinion, and they're gonna have that big spotlight and the camera ready to collect the reactions. So with that said, I want to remind everybody that football is the game for those that don't mind having their mouth smashed and their hearts broken. Football is played on grass, not on paper. Football is cruel and unpredictable. Football is a lot of things, but it's the passion that moves us. From John, Vixen, Amen, and yours truly, David, may God bless you. And as always, vamos, Orlando!